stragglers, and man, we can just let them in as they arrive. So we're ready to record. We can go ahead and start recording. Okay, we're good to go. So good evening, everyone. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you that have taken a minute out of your evening to attend this project information meeting for the Keheley Drive Sanitary Sewer Improvement. Next slide, please. I am Mr. Kerry Williams. I am Deputy Director for the DeKalb County Watershed. And I also would like to extend or acknowledge Commissioners Messiah, District 3, and Super District 7 Commissioner Bolton. They're not in attendance tonight, but I do want to recognize those commissioners since this project does take place within their districts. Now we'll move on. We'll talk a little bit about the agenda. We have a team of experts from DWM to share information regarding the project and to answer your questions this evening. As each of the team members presents, they will share information about the project within their area of expertise. But before we go ahead and get started with the actual project, we're going to give you a little overview of what DWM actually does. Again, that's me. I've already introduced myself, so we can go on to the next slide, please. So just a brief overview of what DWM does on a daily basis. We have one potable water treatment plant, drinking water and all that stuff you use for home. That's the Scott Candler Water Treatment Plant. And we have two wastewater treatment plants, the Snapfinger Wastewater Treatment Plant and the Pole Bridge Wastewater Treatment Plant. There we treat dirty septic water and send clean water back into the environment. Some portions of our wastewater are treated by the city of Atlanta, mainly in the northern part of DeKalb County. In addition to the treatment plants, we also operate and maintain over 5,000 miles of water sewer pipe, along with the pump stations, water tanks, and other items that you may or may not see on a daily basis, but they're there. Next slide, please. So most of the homes within DeKalb County are connected to the DeKalb County system. That's the public system via a lateral. The lateral is the connection from your house that connects to a gravity sewer pipe. And what you notice in this picture, you see the lateral, you have a clean out, you have root intrusion. These are all things that can infiltrate your lateral and cause ionization, which we call inflow and infiltration, rainwater into our system, which takes up valuable space in our system, which is what we're trying to get rid of. We don't like treating rainwater. Some of these items you may see, the infamous missing cap in your yard where somebody's been cutting grass and they hit that cap and you're like, oh, I don't want to replace it. We want that replaced. That lets rainwater into our system. You also, if you have a lateral that's close to trees with big root systems, those roots can intrude the lateral as well. And we also have fog with fats, oils, and grease. It's not a good idea. We don't recommend it. We highly discourage you from pouring fats, oils, grease into your drain system, as this is one of the major clogs in our system. And last but not least, when you buy these wipes and they say flushable wipes, please don't do that. Don't listen. If it's not toilet paper, don't flush it down the toilet, because those wipes do not disintegrate, and all they do is cause backups in our system. Next slide, please. So the Keheley Drive project, this is part of our effort to repair and replace and improve our aging distribution and collection system infrastructure. It is very old. It dates back, as some of the pipes date back, we've seen as early as 1941 in our system. So we're replacing it, and this will help reduce the iodine in the system and not eat up the valuable space that we need for regular sewage. Next slide, please. And so assisting DWM, our efforts, we have a series of professional engineering firms and contractors which assist us in the design of some of these projects and in construction as well. At this time, you heard enough from me this time, so I'm going to silence myself and I'm going to turn it over to our engineering manager, Miss Aaliyah Johnson, who will tell you more about the assessment and the problems found from these assessments. So, Miss Aaliyah Johnson, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Cherry, and good evening, everybody. And my name is Aaliyah Johnson, Engineering Manager for Engineering, Construction, and Management Services, or ECMS. So my team is leading the design of this project that is about to go to construction. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the assessment, why do we need to do the project, and the problems that have been identified. Next slide, please. So why do we need to do assessment? So before we begin with what needs to be done, we need to know what the issue is. So we have the series of technologies that we are using to try to understand what the problem in this area for the sewer. So I'm just going to briefly talk about each of these technologies just to give a basic understanding of what type of data that came out of this technology. So the first one is the smoke testing. Like you see the picture on the right with the smoke come out of the ground. That technology is used to identify if there any connection for the private sewer lateral that could lead into our system. And the second one is called the closed circuit CCTV, which is the most common way of assessment that we use in the system. This one just to look inside the pipe, like the picture you see on the right at the bottom, just to understand what is going on at, inside the pipe. So basically, once you run the camera through the pipe, some of the issues that we found, such as there's a cracks or the holes, the fractures that could cause the I or the water, the infiltration, they shouldn't be in the system to come into our system, that we try to prevent that. So this will help identify the issues by using that this technology. And some of the low-hanging fruit, some of the technology is easier, cheaper, such as the visual inspection. The clean-out cap, Terry mentioned a bit earlier, you can look at it. Let's say the clean-out cap is missing, or the manhole lid, let's say the vented manholes that could allow for any infiltration to come in our system. Acoustic testing, just to understand if there's a blockage, like what Carrie did mention about the fat oil grease or the white that shouldn't be flushed into the system. Those could clog the system. So the acoustic testing can identify that. And last but not least, so the issue to understand if we have enough capacity for the system for the future development. So we use the hydraulic modeling to understand if the system have enough capacity, or do we need to increase the size of the sewer system. And with that, with all the assessment that we done, I'm going to talk more about the problem that we have identified. Next slide, please. So with all the technology that I described earlier, this area we have identified few of these issues as listed on here. What is the first box repeated SSO that is represent the sanitary sewer overflow, or when the system got back up, it could be from the rainwater, the wet weather SSO, or dry weather SSO. So basically, that's what's called the sewer to go outside the sewer system and could go into the body of water, such as the stream, river, or creek. So this area we have identified 11 wet weather related SSO or the spill since 2017. And the most recent one just happened last year, July of last year, during the rain event. And so since DeKalb County is under the consent decree, there is a certain criteria that is defined, required by the agency, which is the EPD and EPA. So Keheley Drive is one of the areas that has been identified as one of the priority fixed list, or what we call PFL in short. At that particular address that's shown here, that we need to complete the fixing of this area by a certain deadline as required by the EPA. And what we found is, as like any other utility, our infrastructure is ages. So the pipe in this area is outside of mind. It's the age is more than 70 years old, so it's time for the pipe to be replaced. And also, as mentioned earlier about the system capacity, with the new development in the area and for the future population, we need to increase the capacity for this system. So that's one of the reasons why we do this project. And last but not least, some operational efficiencies. Some of the pipe that is in the system right now may not be in the best engineering design, such as some of them might be reverse slope, or some of them could have some defect in the pipe. So they have been identified that need to be fixed. So this is just to just give you the general idea of the problem that have been identified in these areas. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Cassandra Marshall, the Assistant Director for the CIP, to discuss the solutions.
Thank you, Aaliyah. Good evening. Again, my name is Cassandra Marshall. I'm the Assistant Director of Watershed Management, the CIP program, and over the Construction Management Division. I have over 20 years of experience in construction and project management. I'm also a licensed water professional, a certified project manager, and a certified construction manager. So to this point of the presentation, you've heard about our problems. Next I will speak about our solution. Next slide. So you may ask yourself, what does a CIP stand for? CIP, or a capital improvement project, is a project that helps maintain or improve an asset. It can either be new construction, expansion, renovation, or replacement of an existing infrastructure. Earlier this year, the Board of Commissioners approved a new CIP program for $4.2 billion for projects to be completed from 2025 to 2035. The Keheley Drive Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project is a $2.5 million project that is included within that plan. My team, the CIP team, is responsible for getting the work done. My team includes 4 DWM construction managers and 12 licensed inspectors. Later in the presentation, you will also hear from the DWM inspection supervisor for this project, Mr. Danny Mathis, who has over 37 years of construction experience. He's also a licensed water professional and erosion control certified. So along with in-house staff, we are also supported by consultant firms who help assist the county with construction management and inspection services. But what we want you to know today is we're here to help. We want to reduce or eliminate emergency repairs. We want to stop spills, and we want to protect the environment. Finally, after the replacement is complete, it will improve the system and sustain for a minimum of 70+ years. Next slide. Next, you will hear from Pavel Vayner about the project scope overview. You're on mute, Pavel.
Good evening. My name is Pavel Vayner, and I am engineer principal and technical project manager of Keheley project. Next slide, please. I like to do the project overview. We started approximately just November 2016, and the first was survey assessment, the stage planning, which include closed circuit CD of the line, smoke testing, and field survey. Next, we was doing wetland survey work, a review of ecological changes and habitats completed before construction. Ensure that habitats restored after the work is complete. Also, the pre-construction portion was included design, permitting, which include land disturbance permit, stream buffer variance, Army Corps of Engineers, and Georgia DOT. And this was done in approximately December of 2020. In summer of 2024, we start project preparation and community engagement. Next step will be construction, groundbreaking, clearing, replacement, installation. It will be open cut project. Then will be completion of the project and restoration, road and street repair, and landscape and right-of-way restoration. And this will be we anticipated done by October 2025. Next slide, please. Planned work issue includes installation of approximately 1,230 linear feet of new 8-inch pipe, installing 6 new manholes. Conventional open cut will be excavation method. Extend services connections to 5 homes. Next slide, please. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Danny Matthews, who is our inspector supervisor.
Thank you, Pavel. Again, and good evening. I am Danny Matthews, inspection supervisor. Next slide. Boots on the ground is my team, the inspection team. We'll be responsible for the construction activities. We will ensure that erosion and sedimentation controls are in place. We will ensure proper installation of the pipe. We will handle customer complaints. We will coordinate with other municipalities, and we will definitely enforce safety measurements are followed. Next slide, please. Open cut trench excavation is just a traditional method of sewer construction, repair, or replacement. Most economical methods of construction to achieve the county's desired results for gravity sewer. Provide service best suited to the scope of this project. Next slide, please. Duration of the project. Starting April the 3rd is community meeting, which is today. The week of April the 7th, we'll mobilize. The week of April the 14th, survey crew, we will have a crew out there saw cutting the trench. The week of the 21st, we'll start sewer installation. In September, we will start milling and paving. And in October, we'll have final completion. Next slide, please. And this is just an example of the ongoing construction, the picture to the left. You see that we have the trench box in there for safety measures to keep the guys safe while they're inside the ditch, laying the pipe. The picture on the right represents the restoration of the road that was tore up and completed right now. Next, you'll hear from Ms. Cassandra Marshall.
Thank you, Danny. I will now address community concerns and what you should expect during construction. Next slide. So there are going to be inconveniences. However, the short-term interruptions provide long-term results. Once we replace the pipe in the area, as previously stated, these improvements should last a minimum of 70+ years. So what you're going to see is a lot of construction traffic, foot and vehicles. There are going to be construction workers, surveyors, county employees throughout the community. What also come with this is the parking for the crew workers. They will be parked alongside the streets in your neighborhood and sometimes along the work zone. There will be material and equipment deliveries by means of large tractor trailers. However, the crews and flaggers will guide these large vehicles in and out of the community. Also, as an FYI, all of the county contractors and county employees will have on an identification badge. There's going to be noise. The equipment has backup alarms. The alarm has to be loud enough for the people in the work zone to hear. As one measure of noise reduction, we will not have equipment running idle. There will also be dirt on the street. As an erosion control measure, the contractor will first install a construction entrance and exit prior to starting activities. This will reduce tracking of mud on the streets but not fully eliminate the issue. And if mud is tracked on the streets, the contractor will be responsible for keeping the streets clean and swept daily. Our work hours will vary based on the location, but our typical work hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., sometimes weekend and holidays. In high impact residential areas, we will only work from 8 to 5. Lastly, there will be a clear delineation from the work zone. Since this is in the road, it will probably be orange cones or orange barrels. Next slide. Community awareness. So the sign at the bottom left of your screen is an example of the sign we require our contractors to install prior to starting work in an area. These signs are to be placed in the view of line of traffic and on every street impacted at a minimum of 72 hours prior to start of construction. And on the bottom right-hand side is an example of a generic county contractor sign to be placed on unmarked company vehicles. Other vehicles will have their company logos. All cars on the county project site must be marked and identifiable as a security measure. Next slide. Next, you will hear from the Public Relations Manager, Ms. Alicia Penny.
Thank you, Cassandra. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alicia Penny, and I'm the Public Relations Manager for the department. And I've worked for over 20 years providing community outreach and communications for the Department of Watershed Management. Tonight, I will share with you the ways that we will communicate with you throughout the project to make sure that you are informed, and we intend to partner with you to make sure that this project is successful and you are aware at all times of what is happening in your neighborhood. Next slide, please. Ahead of tonight's meeting, you should have received a letter such as the one that you see on the screen to the far left. That's a notification letter that told you not only about the project, but informed you about tonight's meeting. Going forward, 48 to 72 hours ahead of any substantial work that happens on the project, you will get a door hanger, such as the one that's shown here, or a notification letter as the one is shown here, which will inform you of what to expect next, what is going on, and to give you contact information in case you have questions. We will also use email updates to keep you informed about the project, letting you know periodically how things are going on the project and how we are moving through the project towards completion. Next slide, please. Here are some of the ways, we call them touch points, but these are some of the ways that we will communicate with you. We have a project hotline. I will share that number a little bit later. It's an information line where you can leave a message, or you can send an email to the email address that I'll provide and ask a question related to the project. Website, we will have a dedicated web page for this project, and it will be up and running tomorrow. And we will be adding a recording of tonight's meeting, a copy of the presentation. You'll see maps, any other notifications that have gone out related to the project, such as the one you received already, will be posted on this dedicated webpage for the project. We will also use social media. We'll use Facebook and X, which is formerly known as Twitter. And finally, we'll use news releases to get out important information about the project. DCTV, which is DeKalb County Television, is one of the methods we use. Next door is one of the notification methods that we use. Also, as Ms. Marshall mentioned earlier, we will have project signs that will be set up throughout the project, indicating that we are in your area and we're working. Contractors will also be in your area, and we will have an FAQ available so that it will answer any questions that you have. Next slide, please. Here we have QR codes for all of our social media. We have Nextdoor, Facebook, X, Twitter, and YouTube. Tonight's presentation will also be posted on our YouTube channel as well. And I'll pause here for a minute to allow you to capture these QR codes. And we want to encourage you to like, follow, and subscribe, because not only do we share information about this project, but about other things that are happening in the department. Next slide, please. Questions. If you have questions throughout the project, we have a dedicated project information line that's listed here, as well as an email address. You have listed here some key personnel, team members who are connected to the project that can answer your questions about the project. Their names and email addresses and phone numbers are listed here. And most importantly, if something happens and it's an emergency, it's after hours, it happens on the weekends, please use our dispatch emergency information line. That is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week phone number, that phone line that you can use. Someone always answers that phone. And we have the phone number and the email address listed here. If something happens after hours, that is the phone number and email address that you should use to contact us, because we want to address that issue, emergency issue, immediately. If you leave a message on the project information line on the weekends, it will not be addressed until Monday, that following Monday after the weekend. Next slide, please. One thing I did not mention, and I want to encourage you now, I mentioned earlier that we do email updates, and I want to ask all of you who are on the call, please provide us with your email address so that we can add it to the distribution list and include you in our email updates about the project. If you put that information, you can just simply type it into the chat, and we can pick that information up from there and add it to the distribution list. This concludes our presentation. We want to thank you for taking out time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. And now we will actually turn to our question and answer period of the presentation. If you have questions, we ask that you place those questions in the chat, and we can pick those up from there and answer those questions, any questions for you. Okay, I do see here. Thank you for this information. I have 2 questions. How will this project impact our ability to use the road while it's under construction? Will our water pressure be impacted?
So I'll take those questions. The first question, that's a good question because the pipeline is being installed down the center of the road. However, we will have to normally notify you that we're going to block your driveway. So the contractor should be knocking on your door if they're blocking your driveway to let you know, hey, we're here. But if you need to get in and out, they should be able to assist with helping you in and out, stopping the construction and allowing you to get in and out. Will our water pressure be impacted? The answer is no. This is a sewer project, not a water distribution that feeds water to the home. However, during construction, though, we do sometimes hit unmarked utilities. So it's a possibility that, hey, you can come home one day and the water is out because we have damaged or hit some unknown utility that may impact your services. But we try to get those services back up as quickly as possible.
Thank you, Ms. Evans. Are there any other questions? And I don't see any email addresses. Please, if you will provide us with your email addresses so that we can communicate with you And we can also communicate with you if in an emergency situation, if we want to, if we need to get a message to you very quickly. If you would please provide us with your email addresses for the purposes of this project. Are there any other questions? I don't see any other question. Okay. All right. Ms. Evans, thank you for your email address. And you have one more question. I have one more question. Will the project be done in phases? And if so, do you have an estimated timeline for each phase? Or will the whole road be done at one time?
So the contractor, the answer is no. It's a short project, 1,200 linear feet, if I recall correctly. He starts downstream. He may have a work zone delineated maybe 100 feet that he's working in at a time. So he's installing pipe, backfilling at the end of the day, coming up the next day, open the ditch up and start digging forward. So on any given day, he probably wouldn't have no more than 100 or 200 feet open, or what we call his work zone.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Are there any other questions? Any others want to provide us with your email addresses for the project? Okay, I don't see any other questions, Mr. Williams. I'll turn it back over to you.
Since there are no additional questions, I think we have the emails of Ashley's email. If there are no further questions, then we're going to give you back the rest of your evening and we're going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you for attending.